Yes, it's nice to live here.
Zoomer Radio, AM 740, downtown Toronto, FM 96.7. Tommy Ambrose and People City there with the Happy Gang. The subject of a terrific exhibit that is going on with help from Myseum of Toronto and all kinds of terrific, very, very smart people who know about the love song to the city of Toronto that was People City, and we've got two experts on that in the studio with us this morning. Ed Conroy's here, the founder of RetroOntario.com. He is the exhibit curator. Diane Blake is here, the founder and the board chair of Myseum of Toronto. Welcome to both of you.
Thank you for having us, Neil. I can't believe it. Andy and Tommy, it must be Throwback Thursday.
You know, and no pressure to have to follow Andy Kim for either of you, by the way. But thanks for both of you for being here. Tell me about this terrific event that's going on. How, first of all, let's just give the basics of the whens and the wheres and the hows.
So, tonight, be here or be square at 6 p.m., Zoomerplex, doors open. And at 6:45, we're going to be screening a very short documentary about the genesis of the song People City and the nexus of characters that were involved in its creation, including, obviously, Tommy Ambrose, Moses Neimer, of course, Mayor David Crombie, and Tommy Ambrose will be here. So, man, Andy and Tommy in the same building,
right?
On the same day. It doesn't get any better than that.
That's going to be amazing. Diane, for people who might not know what Myseum is all about, give us a snapshot of what Myseum is.
Okay, Myseum is the latest reincarnation of the City Museum, History Museum of Toronto. My husband and I decided to get behind it because we've lived here since the early 80s. It's been a great city, and we wanted to celebrate the history, the cultures that represent Toronto today. And we felt that that was a great way to bring people together and learn more about each other.
Ed, fair to say that People City, not just another cool pop song, is it?
Oh my goodness. You know, it represents so many things. You know, in 1972, Toronto was, you know, not the Toronto we know now. You had Mayor David Crombie in there, and in that decade, I mean, he ushered in the CN Tower, Ontario Place, you know, City TV was starting up. All of these amazing things were happening. And it's funny listening to the song now. I was just saying to Diane, I mean, Toronto is more of a people city in 2017. That song is more sort of true now than it even was then. So it was all of these things. It was a mission statement, I think, too, from Moses, who was sort of throwing down the gauntlet and saying, you know, it was commissioned because he needed a song to play at the end of the broadcast day. Because back then, you know, it would be midnight and the television stations would say, okay, everybody go to bed.
Right.
And they would play O Canada, right? Or God Save the Queen. Yeah. And Moses was not having that. He's like, I'm running a station that is based in Toronto. It is about Toronto, and I want a song about Toronto. And so he commissioned Tommy, and not only did he say do a song, he said do a love song. So, of course, Tommy Ambrose, the great Tommy Ambrose, took that, ran with it, got a 30-piece orchestra, you know, went in the studio and crafted this really haunting sort of hymn, I think, to the city. And, you know, some people maybe think it's cheesy, and it was certainly of its time. But, you know, listen to Liza Minnelli's original recording of New York, New York. It's a little different from the one Frank does. Yeah. So, you know, our dream is that artists should be covering People City. It's ripe for reinterpretation.
You know, Diane, one of the great things about that song as well is you look at the lineup of musicians that play on that. Some of the great unsung heroes of the Toronto music scene. And the Toronto music scene's been vibrant forever. So talk to me about Myseum focusing on Toronto's music community and why the choice to do it now.
Well, we want to get the word out about Myseum. We want fun, inclusive, participatory exhibits so that people feel that the Myseum really relates to them and that they can... music is, you know, popular with all cultures, and our exhibit does celebrate many different aspects of the music culture in the city. You know, the venues, the tunes, the neighborhoods, musicians, So that's the reason why we wanted to do it now, because we thought it's a great time to look back at the sort of recent past to celebrate something that's brought the city together.
And of course, the documentary is terrific. The chance to see Tommy is amazing. But you've been up close and personal with this for a long time now. What's the nugget? What's the thing that might not be immediately visible at first glance that you really hope someone catches?
Well, just the opportunity to hang out with these tremendous people. It's Tommy, Moses, Mayor Crombie, and a fellow named Gary Gray, whose name might not be known to everyone, but he was kind of like the Don Draper of Toronto in the 60s and 70s in the advertising world. He wrote the lyrics to People City, and he came up with the title. And just to circle back to what Diane was saying, you hear a lot now about the Six, right? Drake has designated Toronto the Six. Mm-hmm. And, that's great. But in the 70s, Toronto was People City. It transcended the song. People used to refer, outside of the city, oh, are you going to People City? And that's a wonderful thing. What a great name. What a great moniker. So I think this whole exhibit, which, encapsulates a whole bunch of different events, calling it Music from People City was such a nice nuance. Certainly a lot of people didn't know where that name came from, and this is an opportunity to share that wonderful story. And it should be noted, the exhibit that we're launching tonight, People City, is sort of the gateway, but we're looking at Moses Neimer's entire musical oeuvre, starting with People City, running through all those amazing programs on City TV and Much Music and Bravo, and coming all the way up to present day with the radio, the classical station AM 740, mm-hmm. and the wonderful music programs, your All-Time Hit Parade, that are still airing. I mean, this is a guy who music is paramount in everything that he does, and we want to celebrate that.
Diane, talk to me about the exhibit itself. When can we see it? Tell me about tickets and where and all that kind of stuff.
It's available. It's open on Tuesday to Friday, 2 to 5 p.m., and you can just show up and enjoy the exhibit. And there are many other places in the city where you can enjoy music from People City. We have a record shop at the Tiff Bell Lightbox. We have various talks, dances. You can find out information about them at myseumoftoronto.com, our website. So this is one of, I think, 17 or 18 different events that Myseum is holding to celebrate the music from People City.
That's amazing. Let's give out the website one more time.
Myseumoftoronto.com.
There you go. Ed, Diane, thank you both for coming in this morning.
Thanks for having us.
And have fun with this thing tonight. It's going to be a great time.
Rock on.
All right, Happy Gang here, 9:17. Stick around.
The Top 10 at 10. It's like we're giving you a new greatest hits album every morning. It's got the biggest stars every day, and every hit is bigger than the one before.
Hey Jude.
Numbers don't lie, and these numbers lead all the way to 1.
Keep me certain.